So today is Sunday. I have the house to myself, and that means that today is gonna be maintenance day. So for the past few weeks I've been trying to run my tank with a single MP40 quiet drive just to get the noise down. I removed the pump from the other side and just kept that single pump by itself, which had turned out to leave into detritus buildup. Sorry to say that the elevated flow that it brings, about 40% extra, also has the ability to suck up your fish to the pump so they get stuck on there. I've actually lost 2 chromuses to this, so I'm running with that foam stuff, and that really takes the flow way down again. So you can just see that the undertow from the other side is just not there anymore. So I'm feeling pretty forced to bring back the old MP40 from the other side and see how the tank is gonna flow. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is just get this up here and organize it with zip ties. I think I am going to take the so this here is a copy of the Gorilla Grip, as many of you probably know, but it's not the original. This is a China copy of it. And what just happened is this whole thing just came off. So the camera fell to the ground and I was stuck with this handle in my hand. So I definitely don't recommend using this ever. Okay, the zooming still seems to work, but the focus has taken some damage from the fall. Anyway, this is where I am with the zip ties right now. Yeah, there's a very nice example of the focus. Yeah, so the cable is zip tied down with these two. I'm gonna have it run here and into the back here, and come out here is where I'm going to mount the controller for the MP40. Also guys, this is the coral frag from my last clip I did, and as you can see it's really puffed up nicely, and he seems, that camera drop really screwed me over on this camera now. Yeah, anyway, so as you can see the tentacles out, and he's eating, catching stuff from the water just like his colony that he came from over here. So big hopes for this guy. Okay, so I think right there would be nice. There's gonna be another cable coming into this, so right there is where I want it to be. And if this fails, I'm gonna bring out the glue gun. But let's see. Usually they did a pretty good job making these. So let's see how it sticks to the wall. Sort of okay. Yeah, so let's bring in the last cable and have this up and running. So I have them both connected, and I gotta say just right off the bat that I haven't seen this kind of flow for a long time in my tank. Look at just how much shit that pump is sucking up from underneath the rocks here, getting it back into circulation so the overflow can pick it up. Okay, so next part of the maintenance, water for the ATO container. Up next, I'm gonna take to this chamber here. Every week or so I remove this media, and as you can probably see, let's just go in for a close-up. It is fairly brown, so I leave it in there and until it looks kind of like that, and then I replace it. It has a purpose, and it serves sort of like a filter sock, so I'm good with it. This one, it's from Germany, Tunsi. It's called the pig stick. I can just pick this up and just toss it in a bucket, just like this. Very dirty. Now, one other thing I'd like to point out is the importance of having your stuff glued down, especially if you have crabs or sea urchins in your tank. This one was blown over because it was not properly glued in, so that's what I'm gonna do today while I'm doing the maintenance anyway, just making sure everything is glued in. Even for a small frag like this, if I really want it to stay, I use a lot of glue, like this much. So let's put him in, and for this of course I have to use my hand. I think I'll just set him right down here on the edge, so I'll have this small balcony of him sitting there, hopefully shooting up soon. Let me just show you something, guys. As soon as I put that glue in the water, always these little shrimps come up and they try and touch it, and one day they're gonna get stuck. But yeah, it's probably hardened by now, but this guy, he's always touching the glue of my frags. So yeah, anyway, let's have a look down here, guys. That's my algae, which I harvest about once a month or so. And for that, I never use my hands because there's so much life going on in here. Let me just get this off the tripod and show you. Hang on. See that little guy right there? I got tons of those. So these little pods are basically eating up all the leftover foods from my fish. And they are pretty big, some of them. And there's all sorts of critters down here that I just don't want to get my hands on. Here's another one over there. Another one over there. In the back. So as soon as I touch this algae, they're just going to come up and swim around like crazy. So that freaks me out a little bit. So I always wear gloves on that. So anyway, let's get to it. And I recommend always have a towel on the floor while doing this, because you're going to pull up all sorts of stuff. And have a bucket ready. I have the one from before right there. So I'm just going to grab a big handful and chuck it out. Yep, that's how I remove phosphates. So I'm just going to be adding these 2 new live rocks. I have them outside. I usually use them for fragging. So what I did now is just put some boiling water over them to kill off anything that's on there. Give them a good rinse, and then I just put them in there. So all the little pots have something to live in when I harvest this stuff. They have a refuge.